So the question number 1, the Constituent Assembly of India was set up under the scheme of the option number C, Cabinet Mission Plan 1946. Question number 2, which act first introduced the principle of separate electorate for Muslims in India? Option number B, Indian Council Act 1909 Monumental Reforms. Question number 3, the concept of rule of law in the Indian Constitution is borrowed from the Constitution of option number C, the United Kingdom. 4. The feature of the concurrent list in the 7th schedule is borrowed from the Constitution of option number C, Australia. 5. Statement 1. The Government of India Act 1935 served as the blueprint for a major part of the present Indian Constitution. Statement 2. Federal features like a Federal Public Service Commission and a Federal Court were first introduced by this Act. Option number C. Both statement 1 and 2 are correct. 6. The words socialist, secular and integrity were added to the preamble of the Indian Constitution by the option number B, 42nd Amendment Act 1976. 7. Which article of the Indian Constitution deals with the fundamental rights relating to the freedom of speech and expressions? Option number B, Article 19. 8. The 9th schedule of the Indian Constitution was added by the first Constitutional Amendment Act 1951, primarily to option number B, insulate laws relating to land reforms and abolition of the Jamindari systems from judicial review. 9. The Indian political system is characterized by which form of governance? Option number C, Parliamentary and Federal. 10. The national emblem of India is an adaptation of the lion capital of Ashoka at Sarnath. The words inscribed below the abacus are option number C, Satyameva Jayate. 11. The power to create a new state or alter the boundaries of an existing state rests with the option number D, Parliament. 12. Which article deals with the law relating to acquisition and termination of the Indian citizenship? Option number B, 11, Article 11. 13. Statement 1. The Indian Constitution provides for single citizenship, meaning a person is a citizen of India and not separately of the state where they reside. Statement 2. Overseas citizens of India have all the political rights, including the right to vote and hold constitutional office. Option number B, statement 1 is correct, but the statement 2 is incorrect. OCI is not a full citizen and lacks political rights. OCI means overseas citizens of India. 14. Which major commission was set up in 1953 by the Government of India for the reorganization of states on a linguistic basis? Option number C, Fazal Ali Commission, State Reorganization Commission. 15. The territory of India is described in the Constitution as option number C, territories of the states, union territories and territories that may be acquired by the Government of India. 16. Which fundamental right is considered the heart and soul of the Constitution by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar? Option number C, right to constitutional remedies, Article 32. 17. The right to education was made a fundamental right under Article 21A by which Constitutional Amendment Act? Number C, 86th Amendment Act 2002. 18. The writ of quo warranto is issued by a court to To inquire into the legality of the claim of a person to a public office. Option number B. 19. Which of the following is not a directive principle of state policy? Is not. Option number C. Abolition of untouchability. Article 17 is not a directive principle of state policy. 20. The fundamental duties were incorporated in the Constitution based on the recommendation of the. Option number B. Soren Singh Committee. 21. Statement 1. Fundamental duties are non-justiciable, meaning a citizen cannot be punished by a court for violating them. Statement 2. Directive principles of state policy are aimed at establishing social and economic democracy or welfare. Option number C. Both statement 1 and 2 are correct. Question number 22. Which DPSP promotes the establishment of the village panchayats and endows them with powers and authority? Easy question. Option number B is the correct answer, Article 40. 23. The President of India is elected by an electoral college consisting of. Important. Option number C. Elected members of both houses of parliament and elected members of the legislative assemblies of the state and UTs of the Delhi and Puducherry. 24. The President can be removed from office by a process of impeachment for the violation of the Constitution. The impeachment resolution can be initiated in. Option number D, either House of Parliament. 25. The Vice President of India serves as the ex officio chairman of the. Option number B, Rajya Sabha. 26. The Council of Ministers is collectively responsible to the. Option number C, Lok Sabha, and it is mentioned in the article 75 subclause 3. Okay. Question number 27. The highest law officer of the country is the. Option number C, Attorney General of India. 28. Statement 1. The Comptroller and Auditor General is the guardian of the public purse and audit all expenditures from the Consolidated Fund of India and State Contingency Fund. Statement 2. The CAG is appointed by the President and can be removed by the President at his pleasure. Number B, statement 1 is correct, but statement 2 is incorrect. CAG is removed in the same manner as the Supreme Court judge, not the President's pleasure. 29. The Prime Minister is. Option number B, appointed by the President. 30. The highest position in the order of the President's preference hierarchy after the President is held by the. Option number B, Vice President. 31. The minimum age required for a person to be a member of the Lok Sabha is. Option number B, 25 years. 32. The Rajya Sabha Council of States is a permanent body and its members are elected for the term of. Option number B, 6 years. 33. A money bill can only be introduced in the. Option number B, Lok Sabha. 34. The maximum strength of the Lok Sabha as stipulated in the Constitution is. Number C, 552, currently 550 after 104th Amendment. 35. Statement 1. The Speaker of the Lok Sabha presides over a joint sitting of the two houses of Parliament. Statement 2. The Speaker has the power to certify whether a bill is a money bill or not, and this decision is final. Option number C. Both statement 1 and 2 are correct. 36. The power to summon a joint sitting of both houses of Parliament is vested with the power to summon. Option number C, President. 37. The total number of members in the Rajya Sabha nominated by the President is. Number C, 12. 38. The quorum required to hold a meeting of either House of Parliament is. Number B, 1/10 of the total membership of the House. 49. The Supreme Court of India was inaugurated on number C, January 28, 1950. 40. The power to increase the number of judges in the Supreme Court is vested in the option number C, Parliament. 41. The original jurisdiction of the Supreme Court covers disputes between option number C, the Government of India and one or more states or between two or more states. 42. The system of appointing a judge of the Supreme Court by the President after consulting the existing judges is known as the option number C, collegium system. 43. Statement 1. The Supreme Court has the power of judicial review, meaning it can examine the constitutionality of legislative enactments and executive orders. Statement 2. The procedure for removal of a Supreme Court judge is the same as that for the removal of the Comptroller and Auditor General (CAG). Option number C. Both statement 1 and 2 are correct. 44. The governor of a state is appointed by the option number C, President of India. 45. The state legislature may consist of one house or two houses. The second house is known as the option number B, Legislative Council. 46. A money bill in a state can only be introduced in the option number B, Legislative Assembly. 47. Statement 1. The governor can reserve a bill passed by the state legislature for the consideration of the president. Statement 2. The minimum age for a person to be a member of the Legislative Assembly, Vidhan Sabha, is 25 years. Option number C. Both statement 1 and 2 are correct. 48. The members of the Legislative Council in a state where it exists are largely option number B, indirectly elected and nominated. 49. The Chief Minister is primarily responsible to the option number D, Legislative Assembly. 50. The High Court of a state exercises its jurisdiction over number B, the state and or union territories as specified by the Parliament. 51. The power to establish a common high court for two or more states and or a union territory rests with the option number C, Parliament. 52. The judges of a high court can be transferred from one high court to another by the option number C, President after consulting with the Chief Justice of India. 53. The original jurisdiction of the High Court includes the enforcement of option number B, fundamental rights through writs. 54. Statement 1. Under the 7th schedule, police is a subject mentioned in the state list. Statement 2. The power to legislate on matters related to the marriage and divorce falls under the concurrent list. Number C. Both statement 1 and 2 are correct. 55. Which article empowers the Parliament to legislate on a subject in the state list in the national interest? Very important question. Option number C is the correct answer, Article 249. 56. The Sarkaria Commission 1983 was primarily constituted to examine the relationship and the balance of power between the option number C, center and the states. 57. The primary purpose of the Interstate Council is to number B, inquire into and advise upon disputes between states and discuss matters of common interest. 58. The concept of residual powers are not listed in any of the three lists, is vested with the Option number B, Parliament. 59. The zonal councils are statutory bodies established under the State Reorganization Act 1956 to foster. Option number B, interstate cooperations and cooperative federalism. 60. The power to impose and collect taxes on professions, trades, callings, and employments. Professional tax is vested in. Option number B, state government. 61. A national emergency, Article 352, can be proclaimed by the President only on the ground of. Option number C, war, external aggression, and armed rebellion. 62. The term internal disturbance as a ground for the national emergency was replaced by armed rebellion by the. Option number B, 44th Amendment Act 1978. 63. The proclamation of a national emergency must be approved by both houses of parliament within. Option number B, 1 month. 64. President's rule, Article 356, is imposed in a state when the constitutional machinery of the state fails. 65. Statement 1. During a financial emergency, Article 360, the Union Executive can direct the state to observe canons of financial propriety. Statement 2. No financial emergency has been proclaimed in India so far. Option number C, both statement 1 and 2 are correct. 66. The Finance Commission is constituted by the President every 5th year or earlier to recommend the distribution of tax revenues between. Option number B, the Union and the states. 67. The recommendation made by the Finance Commission are. Option number B, advisory in nature and generally accepted by the government. 68. The Planning Commission, now Niti Aayog, was established in 1950 through. Number B, a resolution of the Union Cabinet. 69. The Comptroller and Auditor General presents his audit reports relating to the accounts of the Union to the. Option number C, President, who lays them before Parliament. 70. The primary function of the National Institution for Transforming India, Niti Aayog, is to act as the government's premier. Option number B, think tank and policy making body. 71. The Election Commission of India is a. Option number B, constitutional body. 72. The Chief Election Commissioner can be removed from the office. Number C, in the same manner and on the same ground as a judge of the Supreme Court. 73. The Union Public Service Commission performs the function of the recruitment to the. Number B, all India services, central services, group A and B. 74. The National Human Rights Commission is a. Option number B, statutory body. 75. Statement 1. The Lokpal and Lokayukt Act 2013 established the new institution of Lokpal at the center to inquire into allegations of corruption against public functionaries. Statement 2. The chairperson of the Lokpal must be a former Chief Justice of India and a former Supreme Court judge. Option number B, statement 1 is correct, but the statement 2 is incorrect. The chairperson can be a former Chief Justice of India or a former SC judge or an eminent person. 76. The recognition of a political party as a national party is granted by. Option number C, Election Commission of India. 77. The anti-defection law was added to the constitution by the. Option number B, 52nd Amendment Act 1985. 78. The power of the Parliament to amend the constitution is contained in which article? Option number C, Article 368. 79. The basic structure of doctrine of the constitution was propounded by the Supreme Court in which landmark case? Option number C, Keshavananda Bharati case, 1973. 80. Statement 1. An amendment to the Constitution under 368 requires a special majority in both houses of Parliament. Statement 2. Provision related to the election of the President requires ratification by half of the state legislature in addition to a special majority in Parliament. Majority. Number C. Both statement 1 and 2 are correct. 81. The Panchayati Raj system was first introduced in India in 1959 in the district of Nagaur in the state of. Option number B, Rajasthan. 82. The constitutional status to the Panchayati Raj institution was granted by the. Option number B, 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act, 1992. 83. The 73rd Amendment Act made the establishment of the State Election Commission and the State Finance Commission mandatory for every state. Option number A statement is correct. 84. The minimum age prescribed for an individual to contest election for the panchayat is. Option number B, 21 years. 85. The 74th Amendment Act 1992 is related to the establishment of. Option number B, municipalities. 86. The District Planning Commission is required to be constituted under which article of the Constitution? District Planning Committee. Option number C, Article 243ZD. 87. Which article contains special provisions for the state of Nagaland regarding religious and social practices of the Nagas, customary law, and administration of civil and criminal justice? Option number B, Article 371A. 88. The total number of languages recognized in the 8th schedule of the Indian Constitution is. Option number C, 22. 89. The official language of the Union of India is. Option number C, Hindi in Devanagari script. 90. Statement 1. The Parliament is empowered to make special provisions for the advancement of any sociality and educationally backward classes or scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. Scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. Statement 2. The reservation of seats for scheduled castes and scheduled tribes in the Lok Sabha is based on their population ratio. Number C, both statement 1 and 2 are correct. 91. Which Constitutional Amendment Act made the provisions for a National Commission for Scheduled Castes? Article 338. Option number C, 65th Amendment Act. 92. The provisions for special status to certain states like Maharashtra, Gujarat, Nagaland, Assam, etc. are primarily listed under. Option number B, Part 21. 93. The Attorney General of India is the only person who has the right to take part in the proceeding of. Option number C, both houses of Parliament and any joint sitting. 94. The Union Budget is laid before the Parliament on the recommendation of the. Option number B, President. 95. The Public Accounts Committee of the Parliament primarily examines the audit report of the. Option number C, Comptroller and Auditor General. 96. The Chairman of the Public Accounts Committee is traditionally appointed from the. Option number B, Opposition Party. 97. Statement 1. The Consolidated Fund of India requires parliamentary approval for withdrawal of funds. Statement 2. The Contingency Fund of India is placed at the disposal of the Prime Ministers and does not require parliamentary approval for immediate expenditure. Option number B, statement 1 is correct, but the statement 2 is incorrect. Contingency fund is placed at the disposal of the President, not Prime Minister. 98. The directive principle of state policy are contained in which part of the Constitution? Option number C, Part 4. 99. The preamble of the Constitution is considered. Number B, a part of the constitution and amendable just subject to basic structure. 100. The governor takes the oath of office before the. Number C, Chief Justice of the concerned High Court. 101. Which fundamental right is available only to the citizens of India and not to foreigners? Number B, right to freedom of expression, right to freedom of speech and expression, Article 19. 102. The right to privacy is protected as an intrinsic part of the right to life and personal liberty under the which article? Number B, Article 21. 103. The writ of prohibition is issued by a higher court to a lower court or tribunal to. Option number C, prevent it from exceeding its jurisdiction or usurping a jurisdiction that it does not possess. 104. Double jeopardy. No person shall be prosecuted and punished for the same offence more than once is protected under which article? Option number B, Article 20 plus 2. 105. Statement 1. The fundamental rights guaranteed under the Constitution can be suspended during a national emergency, Article 352. Statement 2. Article 20 and 21, protection in respect of conviction for offences and right to life, cannot be suspended even during a national emergency. Option number C, both statement 1 and 2 are correct. And 6. The first hour of every parliamentary sitting that is dedicated to asking and answering question is known as the. Option number B, question hour. And 7. Time interval immediately following the question hour when members raise matters without prior notice is called the. Option number B, 0 hour. 108. A no confidence motion against the Council of Ministers can be removed only in the. Option number B, Lok Sabha. 109. The maximum gap permissible between two sessions of parliament is. Very important question. Option number C, 6 months. 110. Statement 1. The President can promulgate an ordinance only when both houses of parliament are not in session. Statement 2. An ordinance has the same force and effect as an act of parliament but must be approved by parliament within 6 weeks of its reassembly. Number C, both statement 1 and 2 are correct. 111. The final authority to decide on the disqualification of a member of the Rajya Sabha under the anti-defection law is the. Option number B, Chairman of the Rajya Sabha, Vice President. 112. The Estimates Committee of the Parliament is the largest parliamentary committee and consists of the members drawn entirely from the. Option number B, Lok Sabha. 113. The chairman and the members of the UPSC hold office for a term of 6 years or until they attain the age of. Option number C, 65 years. 114. The Chief Justice of India is appointed by the. Option number B, President, after consulting with such judges of the Supreme Court and High Court as he deems necessary. 115. The power to appoint the governor of a state is vested in the. Option number B, President. 116. Statement 1. The Attorney General of India is not a full-time counsel for the government and is not prevented from private legal practices. Okay. Statement 2. The Attorney General's remuneration is fixed by the Parliament through an act. Option number B, statement 1 is correct, but the statement 2 is incorrect. The remuneration is determined by the President. 117. The National Commission for Scheduled Tribes NCST was separated from National Commissions for SCs by which Amendment Act? Option number B, 89th Amendment Act 2003. 118. The Comptroller and Auditor General serves as a friend, philosopher and guide to the. Option number C, Public Accounts Committee. 119. The Goods and Service Tax Council is a constitutional body established under which article? Option number C, Article 279A. 920. The Finance Commission's most crucial function is the determination of the vertical and horizontal devolution of. Option number B, taxes. 121. The power to regulate the interstate trade and commerce is vested in the. Option number B, Parliament. 122. Grants in aid to the states by the centre are primarily recommended by the. Number B, Finance Commission. 123. Statement 1. The centre is obliged to protect every state against external aggression and internal disturbance. Statement 2. The administrative relation between the centre and the state are purely voluntary and based on mutual agreements. Option number B. Statement 1 is correct, but the statement 2 is incorrect. The centre has certain directive powers over the state in administrative matters. 124. The union duties, taxes levied on the centre but collected and appropriated by the states were abolished by the. Option number B, 101st Amendment Act. 125. The 61st Amendment Act 1989 reduced the voting age for the Lok Sabha and the state assembly elections from 21 years to. Number B, 18 years. 126. The 44th Amendment Act made the provisions that the right to property is no longer a fundamental right but a. B, legal right, constitutional right under Article 300A. 127. The power of the Parliament to amend the fundamental rights was first curtailed in which case? Option number B, Goloknath case. 128. Statement 1. An amendment under 368 must be passed by the Parliament and does not require the assent of the state legislature for all provisions. Statement 2. Amendments related to the 7 schedule lists, the election of the president and the representation of state in Parliament require ratification by at least half of the state legislature. Option C, both statement 1 and 2 are correct. 129. The 97th Amendment Act 2011 is primarily related to granting constitutional status and protection to. Number C, cooperative societies. 130. The 35th and 35th and 36th Amendment Act were pivotal in granting the status of full-fledged state to. Option number B, Sikkim. 131. The 11th schedule of the Constitution added by the 73rd Amendment lists how many functional items for the panchayats? Number B, 29. 132. The 13th schedule, Article 243W, added by the 74th Amendment, lists how many functional items for the municipalities? Option number B, 18. 133. The Balwant Rai Mehta Committee 1957 recommended a 3-tier structure for the Panchayati Raj system, including the Gram Panchayat, Panchayat Samiti and the. Number C, Jila Parishad. Statement 1, 134. The reservation of seats for women in the Panchayat is mandatory and must be not less than 1/3 of the total member of the states of seats. The Constitution makes a mandatory provisions for the reservation of seats for backward classes in panchayats. Option B. Statement 1 is correct, but the statement 2 is incorrect. Reservation for backward classes is discretionary, not mandatory. 135. The Community Development Program (CDP) launched in 1952 failed primarily due to. Option B. Lack of people's participation and bureaucratic control. 136. The leader of the opposition in either house of the parliament holds a status equivalent to that of a. Option number B, cabinet ministers. 137. The deputy speaker of the Lok Sabha is elected by the. Option number C, Lok Sabha from amongst its members. 138. The salaries and allowances of the judges of the Supreme Court are charged upon the number C, Consolidated Fund of India. 139. The Supreme Court has the power to review its own judgment or order under which article? Option number C, Article 137. 140. The power of the President to grant pardons, reprieves, respites, or remissions of punishments is covered under number C, Article 72. 141. The ordinance making power of the governor is coexisting, extensive with the legislative power of the state legislature and is provided under number B, Article 213. 142. The Rajya Sabha has exclusive power to authorize the Parliament to create a new option number B, All India Service. 143. Statement 1. The President can seek the advisory opinion of the Supreme Court by court on any question of law or fact of public importance. Statement 2. The Supreme Court is bound to give its opinion when sought by the President. Statement 1 is correct, but the statement 2 is incorrect. Supreme Court is bound only on pre-constitutional treaties, agreements, not generally. 144. The Union Territories are administered by the President acting through an B, Administrator, Lieutenant Governor, or Chief Commissioner. 145. The writ of mandamus, we command, that means cannot be issued against the option B, President or the Governor. 146. The first Lokpal of India chairperson was option number C, Justice Pinaki Chandra Ghosh. 147. The first backward classes commission 1953 was headed by option number B, Kaka Kalelkar. 148. The term doctrine of pith and substance relates to which aspects of the Constitution? Option number C, distribution of legislative powers. 149. The public interest litigation PIL originated in which country before being adopted in India? Option number B, United States. 150. The governor of state is the constitutional head, while the real executive power is vested in the option number B, chief ministers and the council of ministers. 151. The provisions of procedure established by law article 21 is borrowed from the constitution of option number C, Japan. 152. The idea of elections to the Rajya Sabha, indirect election, is drawn from the constitution of option number B, South Africa. 153. Which feature of the Indian Constitution is not borrowed from the United States Constitution? Option number D, parliamentary form of government. 154. The concept of liberty, equality and fraternity is in the preamble is an inspiration from the number B, French Revolution. 155. Statement 1. The Government of India Act 1935 divided the subjects into federal, provincial and concurrent lists. Statement 2. The residuary powers under the 1935 Act were given to the Governor General of India. Option number C. Both statement 1 and 2 are correct. 156. The provisions for a joint sittings of both houses of parliament to resolve a deadlock on an ordinary bill is provided under option number P, Article 108. 157. Which article of the Constitution deals with the assent to bills by the President, including the powers to withhold or return a bill? Number B, Article 111. 158. The 10th schedule deals with the provisions relating to 10th schedule. Option number C, disqualification on the ground of defection. 159. The 91st Amendment Act 2003 imposed a ceiling on the size of the Council of Ministers, both union and state, at B, 15% of the total strength of the lower house. 160. Which Amendment Act is known as the mini constitution due to the large number of significant changes it brought? Option B, 42nd Amendment Act. 161. Article 1 of the Constitution declare India as a union of states and not a federation of states. 72. The states in India have the right to secede from the union. Option B. Statement 1 is correct, but the statement 2 is incorrect. States have no right to secede. 162. The directive principle concerning the promotion of international peace and security is mentioned in number D, Article 51. 163. The President's power to grant pardons is independent of judiciary and is an executive power. In exercising this power, the President acts on the advice of the number C, Union Cabinet or Council of Ministers. 164. The pocket veto power of the President means option number D. The President neither ratifies nor rejects the bill, keeping it indefinitely. 165. The Vice President can act as the President for a maximum period of 6 months. Option number B. 166. Statement 1. The President of India is the nominal executive, de jure executive, and the Prime Minister is the real executive, de facto executive. Statement 2. All executive actions of the Government of India are formally taken in the name of the Prime Minister. Option number B, statement 1 is correct, but the statement 2 is incorrect. All executive actions are in the name of the President, not Prime Minister. 167. Who among the following does not participate in the election of the Vice President of India? Number C, elected members of the state legislative assemblies. 168. The Chief Election Commissioner and other election commissioners have option number B, equal powers and receives equal salary and allowances. 169. The maximum poll expenditure for elections is regulated and prescribed by the number C, Election Commission of India. 170. Statement 1. A registered political party is recognized as a national party if it secures at least 6% of the valid votes in 4 or more states in a general election. Statement 2. A party must also win at least 4 seats in the Lok Sabha and from any states or be recognized as a state party in the 4th state. Number C, both statement 1 and 2 are correct. 171. The electoral rolls for the general elections are prepared under the superintendent's intendant's directions and control of the option number C, Election Commission of India. 172. The model code of conduct is enforced by the Election Commission from the date of announcement of the election schedule till the date of result declaration. 173. The special provisions for reservation of seats and special representation for the Anglo-Indian community in the Lok Sabha and the state assemblies were abolished by the option number B, 104th Amendment Act 2020. 174. The National Commission for Backward Classes was given constitutional status by the Amendment Act. Number B, 102nd Amendment Act. 175. The National Commission for Women is a option number B, statutory body. 176. The University Grants Commission is a option number B, statutory body. 177. The Official Language Committee of the Parliament is headed by the number C, Union Home Minister. 178. The first delimitation commission in India was set up in which year? B. 1952. 179. The principle that a law passed by the legislature is only invalid to extent its inconsistency with the fundamental right is known as the doctrine of option number B. Severability or separability. 180. The doctrine of waiver of the fundamental rights, giving up of a right, is generally option number B. Not recognized by the Supreme Court. Rights cannot be waived. 181. The principle that a post-constitutional law inconsistent with the fundamental rights is not completely dead but lies dormant, eclipsed, is the doctrine of option number C. Eclipse. 182. Statement 1. The power of the judicial review explicitly mentioned in Article 13 of the Indian Constitution. Statement 2. The Supreme Court is the final interpreter and guardian of the Constitution. Option number B. Statement 1 is correct. Though the term judicial review is not used, the principle is embedded in Article 13 plus 2, but statement 2 is also correct. Question number 183. The Niti Aayog is chaired by the option number C. Prime Minister. 184. The Union budget must be passed by the Parliament in the form of the number B. Appropriation Bill and Finance Bill. 185. The power to establish a new High Court or extend the jurisdiction of an existing High Court to any Union territory is vested in the option number C. Parliament. 186. The maximum number of terms a person can be elected as the President of India is number C. No limit is prescribed. 197. The contingency fund of India is operated by the option number C. President on behalf of Parliament. 198. The Lok Sabha is also known as the number C. House of the People. 189. The Rajya Sabha is also known as the option number C. Council of States. 190. The residuary powers are those legislative powers that are not enumerated in any of the three lists: union, state, and concurrent. These are vested in the option number B. Parliament. 191. The concept of Union Civil Code is a DPSP under Article 44. 192. The financial emergency Article 360 is the only type of emergency that has option number C. Never been imposed in India. 193. The first constitutional amendment to the Constitution of India was made in the year option B. 1951. 194. The right to vote in India is a C. Constitutional right, legal right. 195. The governor serves as the chancellor of states universities in his official capacity. Number A. Statement is correct. 196. The National Commission for Minorities is a option number B. Statutory body. 197. The fundamental duties are contained in which part of the Constitution? Number B. Part 4A. 198. The Supreme Court has the power to issue writs under option number B. Article 32. 199. The High Courts have the power to issue writs under B. Article 226. 20. The National Commission for Scheduled Castes submits its annual report to the option number C. President. So that's all for today, and thank you so much for watching this video. If you guys find this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe my channel. Also, you can get PDF from my Telegram channel, the link in the description. Alright, keep watching, keep learning. See you in the next video. Thank you.